Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 2nd chapter. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord Yahweh, his offering shall be of fine flour. Now, when dealing with the meat offering, as we covered in a previous lesson, it says meat. It's not talking about actual, like, meat of an animal. Here, what it means is a gift offering or a grain offering. Okay, so when you look at some of the other translations, you'll see it says a grain offering, right? And that's why it mentions it shall be of fine flour. Because how do you get flour? You grind the grain into fine flour. And he shall pour oil upon it and put frankincense thereon. So if you came to offer a meat offering, this is one of the ways you would do it. You would mix it with oil, and then you put frankincense. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. So the priest would basically grab a handful. This handful would be known as the memorial, i.e. the portion set apart for the Lord. And so they would grab a handful of the flour mixed with oil, and then they would take all the frankincense and burn it. The priest shall burn the memorial of it. So that's the memorial of it is the portion which they took, the handful, upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. So that portion would actually burn, okay, completely to ash, right, on the altar. That's the savor that the Lord wants. And the remnant of the meat offering, so what's left after they have taken that handful and burnt it on the altar, shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord Yahweh made by fire. So it is one of the holiest, types of offerings of the things you offer to the Lord. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering, an oblation is an offering of a meat offering, bacon in the oven. So this one was like more of the just a raw version, right? The flour mixed with oil. But the Lord is saying, if you bring it, but it's actually bacon, right? You baked it in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil. You're not supposed to bring, if it's baked, you're not supposed to bring anything leavened to come and offer it to the Lord. It has to be unleavened. As it says, mingled or mixed with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. Okay, and then you would just pour the oil on it. It's kind of like, wafers are kind of like flatbread. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, bacon in a pan. So if you baked it in a pan, then it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces, because unleavened bread, once again, it's like flatbread, right? And you can break it. So you will part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, bacon in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord Yahweh. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. So you would bring your meat offering, present it to the priest will bring it to the altar to offer it. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof. So that's a small or a certain portion of it that will be for the Lord. And shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord Yahweh made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven. See? So if you, whatever form it is, you bake it in a frying pan, you bake it in the oven, you bake it in a pan, wherever, you're not supposed to put leaven. It should not be leavened. For ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of the Lord Yahweh made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, so now concerning your grain offerings, you might say, right? So your any offering you bring to the Lord of your first fruits, ye shall offer them unto the Lord. Because remember, the Lord said all are His, right? The first fruits that goes into your crops, your cattle, even your sons, firstborn. But when you come to bring an offering of your first fruits, it says, they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of thy meat offering shall, if you're bringing your first fruits of your crops and whatnot, these will not be burnt, like treated like an offering that'll be burnt on the altar. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from the meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. So if once again, if it's raw, if it's bacon in a pan or whatever the case is, you gotta salt it up. Okay, because as it says, that would represent the covenant of this offering between us and the Lord. And so you cannot bring this oblation of this meat offering onto the Lord without salt. Once again, the meat offering not referring to actual meat. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord Yahweh, thou shalt offer for the meat offering thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. So the Lord says, when you bring your first fruits, that doesn't have to be, like burned upon the altar. But if you're bringing a meat offering that is of your first fruits, meaning of your first harvest, then this is the form it would be. It would be, as it says, green ears of corn dried by the fire, so parched or roasted, even corn beaten out of full ears. So if you see what this is here, an ear of corn, right? This is an ear of corn. It's what we call corn on a cob, right? Beaten corn. Oh, well, definitely not this, but something like this, right? It's corn that's beaten, meaning you separate the grain or that little corn part of it from the cob, okay? And then you would roast it. Verse 15, and thou shalt put oil upon it and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. Because when you bring it, the parched corn, you're going to oil it up and put frankincense and bring it as a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, once again, that the handful or the part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. And that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 2nd chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.